What's up, y'all? It's Young Shallot. I want to talk to you about Hobby Pod 101. I've been going live on TikTok talking about this for a few months, inconsistently as ever. TikTok keeps banning me from the live because I'm too real for TikTok. But I want to get Hobby Pod stuff for people who are already interested in this. People have been really receptive to the hobby list. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's on my TikTok page. I've pinned it since uploading this YouTube video. But I'm also going to make videos about it here on the channel. So you can check those videos out. They'll be labeled under a specific playlist. And then we'll also have Hobby Pod playlist as well, which will be the basically like the how-to study guide, tutorial offerings for how to do your pod stuff. So the first thing about Hobby Pod, get your notebooks out, take notes, do this with your pod or in preparation for your pod. So the pod, what is that? Let's think marine mammals. They swim together a lot of times. Some are solo, but a lot swim around in a pod. These are the people or other mammals they nurture themselves with. They hunt together, they communicate, they play, they fall in love together, they explore with the pod. So the pod is a place where you should be getting fulfillment. That's a big one. We have no point solution, I don't think, without fulfillment. What makes your soul happy? What makes you feel nourished? What makes you feel good, safe, seen? These are not, quote, soft skills. These are fundamental non-negotiables for a good life, okay? So fulfillment, I'm going to put nourishment down here because that's a little different. This means literally you can eat of the soul and the body. Like you get full here, and you get taken care of in a way that makes you stronger, makes you able to share more, create more, build more, rest more, play more. Shared values, we're going to talk about this. So I'm going to put an asterisk next to this because this one's huge. Your pod should share values. If y'all are not on the same page about what you value, why you're doing this, why you're coming together as a pod, I don't think it's going to go super well. Fun. Fun might be in fulfillment, but some people don't know that fun's important to revolution. Fun is important to being alive. So I'm adding it out here so that it definitely stands out. The pod should be fun. Again, marine mammals, they play. And before we go further, I want to talk about some of the books inspiring this. We've got Undrowned, a black feminist lessons from marine mammals. So this marine mammal point is inspired right now by Alexis Pauline Gumbs, but the idea of a pod is something I heard about from anarchists back in, I think 2017, maybe 2020. I don't have the exact source for that, but pod is not like my brainchild specifically. Obviously, I didn't invent the word. And then we're also going to be talking about, I'm not sure how much we'll touch on in this video, but Imagination, a Manifesto by Ruha Benjamin. So, some great authors, if you're not familiar. So these should be some major tenets of your pod practice and what's going on there, and then how you or who you choose to build with based on these things. You may have other values that you want to add. I definitely recommend that you do that. Pod. Ooh. So that's you plus 3 people you trust. Trust should be in there. Okay, you and 3 other friends. You and you are partnered, you and you are partnered. And so when you're doing the hobby list work, you guys can hold each other accountable. It's not too overwhelming. It doesn't have to be 4 people, but I think this is a good, stable number. Not too many cooks in the kitchen type of situation, and enough to keep up with. Like doing paired work with people you trust, people you share values with, people you have fun with. You're more likely to be accountable to that person accountable to you, and to sustain the effort you're trying to build. We have been there before, trying to build with a bunch of people we don't know, hearing things about someone, developing our own assessments, judgments, and understandings about interactions we're having with people during an already pressure-filled and often chaotic time. It's a lot. The pod should reduce pressure with, I think this structure is good place to start. Okay, so the pod I just needed to erase the O. Pod Y. So we'll go back to that. For sustained effort. The pod for accountability. And the pod for reciprocation. So the whys are the practices. Now again, these are all offerings. You may have things that you and your pod want to add to each of these questions. And I do recommend you go over these questions with your pod to understand why y'all are doing this. I'm not with you. I'm not working with a pod right now on this. And this is how I would approach it with other people. And I'd hope they'd throw things in the pot to help create the most delicious pod ever. So, sustained effort. I just talked about that. We've got the partner thing going on here. Lowish pressure because you already trust each other. Y'all share values. So you know you're not doing this as a test, but to fortify what you can create together. This having trust with people, this being in practice with people, we've seen it with the science of what play looks like and development in human beings, especially as we grow. We have more of a chance of sustaining social positive behaviors when we do things together, cooperatively and collectively. Accountability, y'all know what that means. I said I'm going to do something, I'm integral to my word, you said you're going to do something, you're integral to your word. If we mess up, we let each other know ahead of time. Being in practice, these are practices that are antithetical to our hyper individualistic, over consuming society right now that's killing us and our planet. Reciprocation, enormous. This should be at the root of all relationships. I give, you give, 100%, 100% to each other. We can't always give 100% all the time, but even communicating that is giving 100% in my opinion. So reciprocation is scratching each other's back, letting each other know we're overtired, we're burnt out, we are confused, we don't like this hobby anymore, we're having a great time, how can I support you so that you can have a great time? Reciprocation, if you don't know what that means, I highly encourage you and your pod to study that together and learn what it looks like for each other. This one is a huge practice because what happens often when we get into group work, all those things from school, those patterns can come up if we haven't done the work to really address them, root them out, see why they're there. Those ways we fight to prove we're worthy can show up, and reciprocation lets each other know you are worthy as you are, and I'm so excited to be working with you. Here's me offering that through my actions and behaviors. And then you receive that and also give that back to people. This one's huge. Make sure all of these and whatever else the whys you have of what the pod is bringing to your lives and to your community or to your needs are really sat with. Homework it, workshop it, play with it, have fun with it.